Welcome everyone, my name is Marjorie and welcome to my channel where I do DIYs, trash to treasures, wreaths, and more. Today I am doing a watermelon wreath for summer, and I want to start by actually making my own sign. So I apologize, but I thought had begun filming, but I have this whitewashed wood plank from Walmart, and it's like $2.97. It's over in the crafting area with the other woods and stuff, but they have the whitewash and they also have like just another wood plank. So what I'm doing is I'm actually taking just some apple barrel acrylic paint, and I really like how this turned out. And I don't know if it's just because it's acrylic paint or if it would have been the same if it was chalk paint, but you could actually still see the wood grain, and I really liked that you could still see that versus it just being a regular plain sign. Now I did get my inspiration for my sign from Craft Outlet, and you'll actually see it on my phone in a little bit. But I initially started off by taking 2 strips of painter tape and wrapping the bottom and painting it red, and then now I took the very bottom piece of tape off and I'm painting it with I think it's the Christmas green apple barrel paint color. Now I actually have 2 different color greens that I'm going to use. I do make sure that I paint all the sides as well. I don't paint the back because you're not going to see it up against the wreath. But if you would like to, you could still do that. So a sign like this would typically cost about $3.50, between $3.55 at Craft Outlet. And this actually only cost me about about $3.50 because it was $3. And then I'll use another welcome metal sign for the middle that's from Dollar Tree, so it's about the same. And here I took the middle strip of the paint tape off, and I poured out the paint because didn't think it was going to be that big of a difference. But when I started painting it, I did notice that there was a difference. So I decided not to mix the paint. Now, if you see at the top right corner, my phone, there is the welcome sign that was my inspiration from Craft Outlet. Now, I tell you, if you like signs or whatever, you're trying to get into wreaths, if you like to buy ribbon and all that, Craft Outlet is a great online store. I suggest you go there and check them out. Now, when I took the painter's tape off of the red, it actually peeled a little bit off, so I went back and touched that up, and now I'm just taking some of the black chalkboard paint from the Dollar Tree and painting in my little seeds. Now I don't show you either. I apologize. I thought I had filmed it too, but I guess I was on a roll and didn't film it. But I took the Dollar Tree welcome sign and I painted it white, and then I just hot glued it to the sign. So now I have my 21-inch and 10-inch deco mesh from Hobby Lobby, some Chanel stems from Dollar Tree, a wreath frame from Dollar Tree. The 2 different ribbons is from the Craft Outlet, and I have some zip ties. So here I want to show you that these are crossbars, and in between those crossbars, that is called a section. Each of the 4 items that I'm pointing at is a ring, rung, however you want to call it. So what I do is I take 1 Chanel stem in the 2 inner rings and wrap a Chanel stem around it in the middle. Now on the larger 2, which is the outer rings, I will actually add 2 Chanel stems there. Now I know that there are crafters, wreath makers that want to measure where they put it, the Chanel stems, or they'll even use some hot glue to kind of tack it down. You really don't need to, because once you get it full of your deco mesh, everything's going to line in perfectly. So I'm starting with my 21-inch green deco mesh, and I'm just gripping the side, gathering it all up, and I'm going to take a crossbar and a zip tie, and I'm just going to tie that down to the crossbar, and then I'll also trim off the end to make it all nice and neat. You don't have to do that. You can tuck it under the poofs. It's all up to you. So from that initial zip tie, I'm going to measure out 10 inches and put it into my first chenille stem. Now you can either start on the inner rings or you can start on the outer rings. It really doesn't make a difference. Your wreath is going to come out the same. So from each chenille stem, I measure 10 inches and attach it into the next chenille stem until I get the entire wreath done. Now here I want to show you a different method. This is the cruffle or the woodland ruffle, however you want to call it. It's between a ruffle and a curl method. So I cut my strips at 20 inches, and then I'll show you here in just a second. But if you take it where the curl is coming upward, I just curl it over 3 times. So there's 1, 2, 3. Well, I didn't show you very good on that one, but I normally do 3. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, and then I'll walk my fingers up, and there's a cruffle. So I made 18 cruffles to go into the 18 pipe cleaners. Now here I'm just taking my pencil and I'm curling the chenille stems in, and you can do that if you want to. You can cut them off. It's completely up to you. So then I just used my staple gun and attached some chenille stems onto this welcome sign, and I'm attaching it to my wreath frame. Now typically I'll do ribbon tails in all of my chenille stems, but this time I chose to do something a little bit different. I'm really just gonna make 3 pretty large bows to go with this sign to help cover up the wreath, and I think it turns out beautiful. So I did put the sign there, but as I got the bows going, I did move it a little bit, and you'll see it at the end where the placement ended up being. So I think these 2 ribbons are just gorgeous. Like I said, go to Craft Outlet. You will not be sorry. So I measure out 30-inch tails to make my ribbons and my bows, excuse me. And I basically just use up the entire roll of both of these. Then I also have some burlap ribbon that I cut too, and I got that from Hobby Lobby. So once I've got them folded in half and I've got the ends dovetailed, I'm just going to take 10 ribbon in each bow, and I'm just going to measure the loop end 6 inches, and I'm just going to hold them together until I get all of them attached. Now there's no rhyme or reason how I did the colors or anything like that, or how I stacked the ribbon. That's completely up to you. So now I take a chenille stem and put it at the very bottom. I take 2 zip ties, because all I had close was the small ones. So if you have the large ones, that's just perfect. This was good with me. I just didn't want to get up and get my large ones. So here I am just making sure my chenille stems in half. That way it's centered, and that way when I go to add my bow to the wreath frame, it's going to be pretty even. So one side of the chenille stem's not struggling to get to the other side, so it'll be easier. Here all I'm going to do is just puff out my loops and my tails. Now on this, if you have a one-sided ribbon like the watermelon, you got to make sure you flip the ribbon to where the right side is showing. But if you just have the ribbon like the burlap or the green ribbon, those are the same on both sides. You don't have to worry about making the twists. All you got to do is just spread them out. So as you see here, I'm making a pretty big bow, 6-inch loops. I think it turns out great, and I actually make 3 of these. Now what I do is I just start at the top. I figured, okay, this is where I'm going to put mine at the top. Then my second one went directly under it, and then my third one went in between the two. So that's how I ended up placing it, and you'll see here in just a minute how everything turned out. Now just remember to be poofing out your loops and curling the ends of your ribbons to make it more full and fluffy looking. So here's my gorgeous watermelon welcome wreath. I absolutely love it, and I want to thank you guys for stopping by today, and I hope you liked the video. Please give me a thumbs up and comment below, and if you haven't done so, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Have a blessed day.